Welcome, everyone. Jeff Houghton with TAG Cyber. Today, I have a great guest. Haseeb Awan is with Efani. Haseeb, how are you today?
I'm pretty good, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. So first, let's just do a quick overview, elevator pitch. Tell me about Efani.
If I need just a secure cell phone service, so the one that you have, similar to that, just secure. Easy analogy would be like we provide cell phone security to important people, C-level executives, investors, lawyers, politicians. That's our niche. So like average consumer walks into a store and get a cell phone connections, while we have a concierge service which onboards high-profile clients.
Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like as I've learned about you some more, it sounds like something that's really necessary, but maybe people haven't thought of before. So take me back for yourself. How did you get into this? What were you doing? What were you doing before this, and how did this become something of interest for you?
So I kind of became a victim of cell phone SIM swapping almost 4 times. And for people who don't know, someone can just walk into a store, so like any store, and cell phone carrier, and pretend to be you, or do some social engineering or bribing, and take over your cell phone connection. So they will just say, "Hey, I'm Jeff. I live here, and this is I lost my phone." So the guy will just transfer the number to the new new person, and then he will go into your Google account or like any kind of accounts and try to do password reset. And based on that, he will just once he have password reset, he can actually get access to your social media, your email account, your financial institute, and try to financially drain you. Then he will go after your reputation and then try to emotionally blackmail you. So that happened to me 4 times. And despite all the measures, because there's one thing that was the weakest link, which was cell phone security, and I could not control it. So I said, okay, there's one thing that's left in my Ford security, so why not build a career around it? Build it for myself. Friends start asking for it, and 2 years later, we have a proper company now.
But that's a great, I mean, both a sad origin story and a great origin story. That's like this is something that's needed, and I have the capabilities to make it happen. And then people were attracted to it, like as opposed to here's this great company, do you want it? And people are like, I don't know. But it seems like this is something that is necessary, even if people aren't thinking about it, right?
Certainly, like, when it comes to cell phone security, you believe that big carriers are used to securing you. And frankly, Ifani, not for everyone. We do not recommend people should buy it unless they're important or they have some data to secure, because it's like a bulletproof car. Not everyone needs bulletproof security. Um, so we target to a very small niche. But yeah, once you start become a victim, then you realize this is a market in the need. And frankly, I didn't know how big the market is. And I thought that carriers will be able to solve it, so our business will die within few months. But what we discovered was actually business is thriving because there's no such thing, and carriers do not have plans to build to target to this wide audience, to this small niche, because these people are uh, do not exist in like everyday life.
Yeah. Yeah, so here's something I'm curious about. So I've seen you say before that there's more of your identity linked to your phone number than anything else, and that was kind of eye-opening to me. What do you mean by that?
So like think about like there's one number that I've been protecting for longest time, social security number. You always say that, hey, I want to have my social security number to be taken care of. We have services which protect credit score and everything. But if you think about it, our telephone number is identity. And I'll give you example. If you give me your telephone number, there are services which can actually offer you your social security number and can issue you line of credit just based on your telephone number, because your telephone number is connected to everything. And if you sign up the contract with a carrier, they specifically say that we can sell your information. So by telephone number, you can find someone's address, you can find, and there's services online which actually can sell your call logs too. So if you go on dark web, you can basically say, I want to see Jeff, who Jeff spoke to in the last 20 days, 30 days, or 90 days, and they will sell you a call log for as low as $1,000. Um, so telephone number is if you log into your Uber account, what do you put in? You put your telephone number, and you walk into a CVS store and you say, "Hey, I lost my points card." What do they ask you for? Your telephone number. So everywhere telephone number becomes your identity, and this is the identity that you give to your public as well as private too. So you go to like your email account. I can guarantee you that 99% people listening to this interview will have telephone number as a backup.
Yeah, it's almost like, we think of our social security number as something we protect at all costs, and the phone number we're just giving out, but it gives you it's a way in, and then they're sounds like they're changing passwords and being able to just like kind of quickly cobble together your identity.
That's identity. So I think like, your telephone number is bigger than your identity right now. It is our identity. If you tell me a telephone number, frankly, it's very easy to identify someone. And one part, like I was at a party, I think last week, and someone identified that. Someone said, "Oh, they were giving telephone number, and they said, I think the telephone score was like 917, I believe, or 212, and the guy was living in Austin or Houston, I believe." And I said, "Okay, oh, are you from New York?" Um, they said, "Yes, I lived there, but how do you know?" I said, "Because your telephone number is from New York." So based on his telephone number, I was able to identify when did he approximately call the telephone number, because 917 code was not the original code of New York. So the guy he said, "Oh, this is a nice opener for someone. You can actually look into telephone number just based on that, identify that this person probably have a connection there."
Yeah, yeah. It really is eye-opening. So why aren't, or what do other traditional carriers, what do they do about it? Do they do anything?
They do try to do it, but ultimately it's very difficult because, like, eventually think about like every car social is like a security conscious. Like security also come with its own kind of a baggage, because people generally are looking for just a cheaper plan when they walk in the store. So what do companies offer? They always advertise, "Oh, we are the most cheapest plan. We'll give you iPhone for free or something." That's the only hook they have. General consumers do not care about security, even though they say they want to care about security, but they don't care about security. And simple example would be, not every car comes with a bulletproof window because not public needs it. Like, not everyone have like a those kind of bodyguard. So, or not every plane have a first class, because general public is unable, because it has a cost to that. So we cater to, like, maybe we call like a first class or business class for telephone services. While on one end, people are willing to give their data to have a cheaper plan, even though they don't want to, but they sign up. Okay, if you give American the choice, for $10 extra, we will not sell you data. 99% will say, "Oh, I'm okay with my data being sold
Mhm.
and getting a $10 cheaper offer."
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it really is. It does seem like a real issue, and it seems like I think you've said before that it's almost like yes, there might be other carriers that may respond in some regard, but time is of the essence, right?
Certainly, like I'll give you a simple example about, like, if everyone goes through like like we have TSA pre and everything, so we pass through faster. But what if every passenger has to go through a secondary check? It will clog about our entire system. Or you have a border control at every mile. Yes, it will basically control and enforce a lot of things. And again, I'm not getting political immigration. I'm just saying that whenever you add an extra layer of protection, it adds to the time. And general consumer do not want their time to be. Public wants convenience. And like
Mhm.
you found out, you basically, it's like, think about, it's like Black Friday, and Jeff went out and Jeff said, "Oh, this kid is giving me an iPhone for free," and my kid says, "Oh, you have to pay like $200." People will say, "Oh, I want to switch right now." And FCC says that within 4 hours you have to respond to a request for a port in. So think about how many carriers have like hundreds of millions of customers. And even if they have a churn rate of 1%, which is pretty low, but like normally in prepaid, I think they have a 4 to 5% churn rate, which means that millions and millions of customers are switching every day.
Mhm.
So even if they have like 10,000 requests per hour, imagine the amount of work they have to do to ensure that every fraud is going through is like, proper. So that's why this is a problem that they will continue ignoring.
Yeah. So where do you see? I mean, obviously, cybersecurity has to adapt and change, and services like yours need to come in. Where do you see cyber going? What's the direction it's going in, both in terms of attacks and in terms of how we need to protect ourselves?
So if there's one thing right now, like if there's one thing I'll leave right now, and only like there's an earthquake right now, hypothetically, and I have to read, or there's some disaster, the only one thing that'll run right now is my cell phone, before even picking up my car keys, you know, and that's how the world we live in. We go to washroom, we have a cell phone with us. We go to bed, we take a cell phone. So cell phone is basically part of identity right now. And easier way. So that's like our life. If someone get access to my telephone, he can pretty much get access to my 90% of my life. So I think the next war will be fought cybersecurity. Not just the bullets are not fighting. It doesn't mean there's no terrorism or there's no attack, because number one, you don't need to go that far. You just need to travel by internet rather than flying your plane across the world. Second thing is you can be anonymous and basically announce whenever you want. Third thing is you can keep on trying without other party even discovering that there's an attack happening. So that's why, like, I believe in the next decade or so, people traditional armies may disappear, and they'll be just attacked with cyber. So easiest way to attack into someone is cell phone, because once you get into, like, think about our president, cell phones getting hacked, or someone high profile cell phone getting hacked by a foreign entity and get access to all the data, classified information. I think that'll be a disaster. They don't need to come to our offices, and basically, because physically attempting to go into a federal department is super difficult, while sitting remote in a location on an island and getting into something is much easier. So I believe the cyber wars will become more and more stronger. Um, so even though I hate to use the word, but cybersecurity industry will boom as the attacks. It's like a military complex in
Mhm.
cybersecurity.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And it's interesting what you're saying that like the cell phone is designed for convenience, and every aspect of it is every new iteration is more convenient. But when you have those conveniences, you can lose some security unless you're intentional about it, like with Afani, right?
Correct. Like, people use apps and everything, but people are ultimately looking for convenience. Like if I ask you, hey, use a specific app to communicate this thing. Yes, you can do it, but there's also change behavior too. People are generally used to picking up the phone and calling, like using a dialer. So yes, so you can get some people, but ultimately people will resort to that. And like we protected in DDoS attack. So DDoS attack, what do you do if there's no cell phone coverage? You're sitting in a house, someone wants to attack you, and they come with a signal jammer, and you can't communicate with someone, regardless of whatever software you have on your phone. It's useless because you have got it's impossible for someone to stop those kind of attacks, because you disconnect. Similar with IMSI catcher, someone can install like an IMSI or Stingray devices at your office and listen to your conversations, or send you, like, that's why we still get spam calls. If you think about, spam call is actually intrusion into your privacy. It's like you are sitting in your house and someone is knocking on your door every 5 minutes in your house. It used to happen. Now it's reduced because people spam through. They used to spam at our houses, but now they spam our text messages. And text spamming is much cheaper than someone physically going to your house and knocking at your door. So I think, if the one thing that's unsecured is cell phone right now, and obviously I'm biased because I protect against this.
Yeah, right. But you also experience it too. So,
Yeah,
so
I've been victim 4 times. So
yeah, that's maddening. 4 times. I can see why you would, as a result, start a company to combat that if you've been a victim of it 4 times. So maybe there's people that are watching that have been victims, or people that are looking at securing Afani as their carrier. How do they find you? How do they get a hold of you? Or if they have any questions?
I think it's easier. So you can type secure cell phone service. So I think we are like among the top few results. If someone forget about it, if on efani.com, they can check and check out. We have two offerings, which is like a basic secure plan, basic offering, and then we have a premium offering too, which is by invite only. So you have to contact our department, and we have to we evaluate if that's for you or not, and if we are allowed to sell it to you.
Yeah. Well, Haseeb, it sounds like you unfortunately found like a great niche. Unfortunate because of the way you found it, but sounds like you found a great niche that a lot of people would have interest in. So thanks for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you. They say, when life you give you lemon, you make a lemonade.
You've made lemonade. Thank you,
Yeah.
Hassab.
Thank you. Bye bye.